Uh, Today we're going to talk about how to become positive. Positivity is a reality, and negativity is an illusion. Now, that is a fact, may not be for everyone, but it is a fact for somebody who has realized the positivity. Positivity is something that is real, and what is the definition of real? Real is something that's always there, it's here, and it will always be there. That's something you can rely on. Versus what is negativity? Negativity is something that is not real. Like dream is not real. It comes, stays, and then disappears. What was never there before, it is here now, but it's not gonna be at some point. Why is it not a dream? That's a dream, and dreams are not real. Now that we know from the example of the dreams, but we don't know in the real life because we are seeing the dream. We are in the middle of the dream. Being in the middle of the dream, we cannot call it dream a dream, and we don't. When we're watching the dream, we get carried away, and oh, I had this dream and I had that dream and things like that, and that being carried away is sansar. Sansar is what we're living in. Wasn't there at one time. Even we have scientific proofs 13.5 billion years ago, there was no universe. Something that wasn't there before, it's here now, and someday it will not be there. How could it be real? So the difference of the negativity and positivity is the reality versus non-reality. But all that has to be realized within. So that's where the problem comes in. How do you stay in the dream and wake up from the dream at the same time? Logically, you can say that, okay, dream is a dream, but there is a dreamer. The dreamer is the one who goes to sleep at night. He watches the dream and he wakes up. Before the night, he was a dreamer. He was not a dreamer, but he's seeing the dream, and then he wakes up. Then he remembers that he had a dream. So the dream has existence as long as you believe in it. But as long as you don't believe in it, it doesn't have existence. So the whole sansar being a dream, it relies on our belief in it. And all these things can be traveled through internally, gradually, with a little bit of adjustments, a little bit progress, things can happen. But all those things, the resources to do that are available within us. But we never really care to go within. If you stay outside, whatever you're gonna get from outside is generated by the dream itself. Because sansar being a dream, all those things are not gonna help you until you actually go within. So the whole realization also happened to me in this part of, I like to learn from nature. We were in the Utah trip, and we went to see the famous Mesa Arch. You know, the windows, they have that Mesa Arch. It's so beautiful. It's in a Canyonlands National Park. It's really beautiful. So we went there. On the way back, me and Mehul were standing there. I posted the picture. It's on the middle of these rocks. Nothing but the rocks. There is one juniper standing right in a tiny crack. It was coming out. And this is a very harsh environment. It's very deserty. It's very extreme temperatures, like 100 plus degrees during the daytime. It's like 20 and 30 degrees at night. In extremes of temperature, this juniper was not just existing, was thriving. And it tells me that the seed of that juniper must have fallen in that crack, a tiny crack, which has to hold on to even a tiny precipitation that comes in, holds on to it, and it has to have inner, what they call jijivisha, the desire to live, desire to survive. It has to be there built into that seed that fell in that. So seed is built in with that desire to flourish, desire to thrive, and continue the cycle of life for what it is destined for. So we all are seeds. God never sends a seed into the real life if it did not have a perfect system. Each seed has a perfect system within it. All the resources which are needed. Now those are abstract. The seed may not even know. Obviously it doesn't. It doesn't have a psyche that is developed enough to know itself that, oh, I have that power, let me. Only human species are capable of meditating. Through meditation, we can go into where we came from. All the resources which are there are hidden within us. But instead of that, what do? We ask each other. We take advice from each other. Take the cues from this. And every seed which has come up, even though it has flourished, like could be Buddha or Mahavir or Krishna, they all flourished in a different environment. Each seed is growing in a different environment. The seed of that juniper never really walk and go and ask how did you do so well in that location? It's impossible. All it does, it relies on its inner strength. Meditation is all about going within and finding what resources are available for you. It is the enlightenment is an individual process. It is never driven by institutions or organizations and things like that. Why? Because sansar being a dream, those organizations are also present and created in the dream by somebody who is living that dream. How can they wake you up? It's impossible. So getting advice from each other, giving advice to each other is a waste of time. What we really need to do is go within and ask ourselves, where do I stand? And all those things little by little starts getting cleared away. And all the resources are always there to fight every single situation. Why? Because every single situation is also created by the consciousness. And if the consciousness creates a situation and does not give you a solution for it, then God is not perfect. God is not infinite. God is infinite. God is perfect. So it has given infinite potentials to deal with infinite situations. Otherwise, the whole universe will be out of balance. Then you can say that, okay, there is suffering and suffering and suffering. People who never connect with these inner resources, for them, sansar is a suffering. People suffer because they don't see any outlet. Even to the point people commit suicide. And people who don't commit suicide doesn't mean that they are happy either. Suffering goes on. All they have is capacity to withstand the suffering. People live in suffering, people die in suffering. And that suffering is not necessary, because suffering is that of the dream. And dream is not worth it, suffering. You may have a bad dream, but at least you can wake up and you can say, okay, it was a bad dream. I woke up and I'm fine now. So what it needs to wake up from suffering? Wake up. To walk away from suffering, not to have those sufferings in life, all you have to do is wake up. Because like a lock and key, there is a solution for every single suffering that you may be going through, and it's all hidden within. All it requires is to wake up your consciousness, the awareness. The awareness is the spiritual aspect of yours. Matter is not in your hand. We are lost in the matter. Our body is a matter. Body relies on the food from outside. It has to breathe from the world. It needs the oxygen. It needs the water. It needs to exhale. All this system is part of the whole sansar. And we call it, this is me. And that's where the biggest mistake comes in. We have put ownership on a process. Imagine a process and putting an ownership is such an illusion. Ownership is never part of the universe. Nobody owns anything in the universe. Everything and everyone behaves in their own nature. And yet we have put down the stamp of ownership. We live in a sansar. We say, okay, this piece of land belongs to me. So I put down my name on it. The piece of land is probably laughing because probably 15 other owners came before that. And another 1,500 people are going to come and claim the same thing. And the document stays and you disappear. As long as you leave, say, okay, this is mine. Ownership is not a part. Ownership is a part of the sansar. Yes, sansar makes you own things, but that's not the reality. We go and own people. Oh, this is my girlfriend. This is your girlfriend. You divide. How can you own people? But we do. We fight. How can you own religions? Religions are a concept. It's a philosophy. How can you own a philosophy? And yet, millions of people, we have killed each other. There is not a single animal in the world who killed their own species. But we have. We have killed millions of people in the name of this stupid ownership. Because I am a Hindu, I am required to kill Muslims, or vice versa, or Christians, or Jews, whatever. Hatred spring up. The religions which were supposed to take you to enlightenment is making you fight in the dream, because religions are also created in the dream. The ownership is an illusion. And the worst ownership that we are having is on the body itself. But who can remove that? Okay, rest of the things you can argue out that, okay, ownership is an illusion. Who really do you think you own the religion, or religion owns you? All the external forces come and occupy your mental space. And external forces require, it includes everything. Corporate ownerships, corporate advertisements, all these things, they come and say, you need this, you need to drink milk, you need to have be strong like a cow, and that's why you have to eat meat. And all these things are illusions created by, again, within the dream to hold you on to the dream. So every single product that comes actually literally owns your mental space, is renting a space from you, not paying the rent, collecting the rent from you. Imagine, it's your mental space, and yet you have given it away to someone else. And they control your whole life, and we are born in sansar, we live in sansar, we die in sansar. That's why the whole sansar, when you believe in it, the negativities start. Because you are getting sucked into something which is not there. It just wasn't there. You pick up the products of sansar and take it outside the sansar, has no value. You walk in with $1 million in the suitcase, go to a jungle and stand in front of a tree, try to impress the tree. Tree doesn't care. All these products, we have to realize that we are living for and dying for, are meaningless. Okay? So those things may be a little bit easy to remove. How can you remove the ownership of your body? Because it's right there. You move your arm and the arms move and you walk around. And it is responding to your commands, doesn't mean you own it. If you really own it, stop your heart. Can't do it. Stop breathing. Can't do it. Stop getting hungry. Can't do it. None of these things are possible because it's some higher forces are working on it, making you hungry, making you thirsty, making you drink. All these are necessities which are required by the higher consciousness to make you go, make your body go. But that doesn't mean the body is you. So the real deal starts when you really want to find out who you are. That's where the tables turn. So you see the whole process through meditation, being an observer, and all these negativities which you have created so far, it starts becoming more and more clear. Everything starts becoming like a clouds are disappearing. Have you ever been to Machu Picchu? Been to Machu Picchu? It's beautiful. Have you been early in the morning? Like before 6 o'clock? That's the time to go. Because we did the 3 nights hike, me and my son. And the last, the tent that we had all set up, it was about 6 kilometers from that. So we wake up like 4:30 in the morning and start waking. The key time to go to Machu Picchu is before the sunrise. And you reach there is a huge rock, and there's so much spiritual energy over there. It's unbelievable. And there's a huge rock that people used to sit and meditate before they would reach Machu Picchu. This is the folklore from the Indians and the Mayans. So we do that, you sit down, meditate, and then you go there. You can't see anything. Machu Picchu is like a bowl, and all the tall mountains are, all tall peaks, like all the way around, and it's all covered with fog, the clouds, everything is covered up. And all of a sudden, they say, just wait. You just appreciate the beauty of the night and all that. Suddenly, and the first ray of the sun comes. And the sun comes up, it is like magic. Everything just opens up, and the clouds start disappearing. And the whole Machu Picchu becomes a reality. So that's what happens in meditation. All your beliefs, all your ideas that you have borrowed from the sansar, talking to each other, reading the books and reading the literatures and all those things, it has filled your mind, and these are like clouds which is preventing the sun of positivity shine through. And that's where the positivity is hiding, because that predates whatever you have accumulated, all the garbage we have collected inside. All that has no value at all, because God created man, man created sansar, sansar fills your mind. What did you really do? You came with empty-handed, you're living empty-handed with no idea about the positivity in life. So positivity is something that is hidden within you. The reason it's a positivity because it's immortal, because it's perpetual. It's something that was always there even before the creation of universe, let alone the humans. So, and even if the whole civilization will be gone, that reality will be always there. And something to look for, that is the right path towards the right direction, towards the positivity. So positivity is hidden within you. That source which created you and me and the whole sansar, every single organism, whole universe. Krishna says, I am the owner of crores of universes. In that consciousness, all this dance of universes are happening on a grand scale, and we are never gonna know if we get lost in samsara. And the negativities are what? You own something, then automatically you want to protect it. Then you want to fight if somebody wants to take it away from you. The anger gets in, greed comes in, depression comes in if you do lose it. If you win, it's a pleasure. All these things are ups and downs, all the products of this sansar, and we think that we have really achieved something. You have $1 million, and then so what? Ye duniya mil bhi jaye to kya hai? So what? But that's the thing. People feel so elated, people so happy about what they have gained, and they brag about it, and they keep running after it, and they cannot even stop it. There are people who have enough money to feed next 10 generations, but they can't stop running because this is all they know. To know the fakeness of all these things is the enlightenment. The wisdom to get awake from all these things takes you in a different path, totally different path, which you have never traveled before. That is the path from negativity to positivity. So all the negativities that you have, all your sufferings, the angers, and all these have become vruttis and vasanas, the tendencies within you. And these tendencies are tough to break unless you apply the light of awareness. Awareness is the only light there. The light that is behind the sun and the moon is the light of awareness. That is hidden within us. So inside we have another eye for ourselves. That's your third eye, the inner eye, that clears out all these confusions. And as you keep on going towards the light of awareness and pursuing it, all the clouds just disappear by themselves. It's not as simple as that, okay, I am living a life of negativity, I'm depressed, this and that, okay, I'm gonna do meditation. It doesn't work that way. Because who is meditating? The one who is suffering from the dream. So you're suffering, you're making it real. Say, okay, I have depression, I have anxiety, I have grief, I want to come out of it. So I'm gonna bring my problems to meditation, and meditation is gonna fix it. But who is bringing it? The dreamer himself. So you believe that these are the problems, so this will never be cleared away, because it's not the problems that are a problem. Your belief in the problem is the problem. It's very simple to understand, but yet very difficult to do. It's like a lion is sitting in a cage, very big cage, infinite cage, right? And the lion says, I want the cage to be empty. But he doesn't want to move. Lion himself is the problem. So the biggest problem that we have is our belief in samsara. That we have to realize that also came from outside. So first time when you were born and they told you you are Hindu, it's something that came from samsara, or Christian, or Judaism, or whatever, or Muslim. All these things are sanskaras. Shankar says these are sanskaras, and these sanskaras are not real. But the only time you realize when you walk away from it and start becoming more and more aware. Meditation is all about practicing awareness. You cannot bring your laundry basket of garbage from the sansar into that, including your belief that you are the body. So that is the worst and the most difficult belief that you need to come out of it, that I am the body. You can see your body. How can you be the body? Observer and the observed are two separate things. But we practice that, but day-to-day life, again, we go back to the same normal routine and we forget. And so the main thing is to remain aware in a continuously positive state. Experience the state that you have within you. And that is the light of positivity. The positivity is very ambiguous. The consciousness is very ambiguous because you're going from the forms to the formless. Now all your parameters are gone to judge everybody. Like you know that a human has to have 2 arms, 2 legs, and all of a sudden you have no forms there. So you're going into an unknown territory. It's scary, and it's very weird also, but it is the reality, because the formless is the one that creates the forms. Silence is what supports the words. When you speak, say, I am here. Before I spoke that sentence, I was silent. So silence was always there. And then I say, okay, I am here. 3 words. What happened to the silence? You think it disappears? It doesn't. I am here. Each of these words is separated by microseconds of silence. Otherwise, it would not have any value. If I say I'm here, it would not have any value. To make the sense out of the words, you need the silence. So silence never disappears. And once I finish the sentence, what happens? Again, the silence returns. So silence is perpetual. The perpetuality of the silence is coinciding with the consciousness, the peace of the consciousness. You get angry, what happens? You were at peace. Suddenly somebody said something, and the anger burst out from you. And then at some point you cool down, and the anger disappears. So your peace was your true nature, which you left to come into the sansar, to respond to the sansar, and then you went back. So if you choose to remain in negativities all the time, you're going to have a negative life all the time. But if you, with a little bit of understanding, you realize that peace is your nature, and if you really want to coincide with your nature, then what's the point? You have desires for eating certain foods. But when before the desire came, you were at peace. Once I was driving through Indian store, right? And was going to the Parsipani, Patel Brothers, right? So as I was going, suddenly I thought about chicky, right? So I said, okay, I'll go and buy it. But I really didn't want to buy it because of the sugar and all that. But why did I think about it? Why did I think about it? Because of my previous exposure to it. And that exposure came from sansar. At some point, must be the first time when I ate it, and I was holding on to these impressions. And then on the way to Patel Brothers, it happened. I bought it. But I narrated the whole experience. I went through the whole experience from the eye of awareness. That awareness was always pure. It got impressed by the surrounding situations. I was holding on to that memory in a deep, deep layers. Suddenly the situation arose and it came out. So if you study the whole thing, you find the link between all your negativities and then desires and greed and angers and all those things. To at some point you were not exposed to it. And then that state of permanence is the state of positivity. The positivity gets suppressed because of our continuous actions that leads to the more and more building of our impressions from the world. Those sanskaras keep on pushing their awareness down. So meditation is a process. So all our negativities can be created into positivities because it is the same energy. You know, the difference between energy and urja is a lot. Energy is energy. You can see the bulbs are operating. That's the physical energy. That your body has the energy. But urja is a different word altogether. You know, the universe that we see, the visible universe, is only 4%. Of the total energy that is present in the universe is only 4%. Another 20% they say is a dark matter. So it's a matter, but we cannot perceive it because our instruments are not sensitive enough. So that's still 25%. And then 75% they say is a dark energy. Energy that's floating around and we don't know how to perceive it. Because energy is energy. That energy cannot be perceived. And that's what they think is pushing all these galaxies away from each other. The galaxies are running away and it's just springing from within. That's urja. Urja cannot be utilized into anything, but it is there. The same urja is flowing from within us also, because we are bathing in that vast ocean of urja that can be tapped, that is within us. The whole realization of that thoughtless state is transforming. You take your problem, but not your problem at the time. When you meditate, no problems. You walk away from it as if you have nothing to do with it. You just striving to look for that positivity, the awareness. just follow the thread of awareness, and the positivity starts becoming stronger and stronger. The negativity start falling away by themselves. You don't have to say, okay, I want a solution for this. The inner will to survive and thrive came very well to that plant of juniper, right? It was automatic thing. It did not meditate. It just was there. Whenever the situation arose, the heat and the cold, it decided to fight back. So if you rely only on your own resources, that's the ultimate game in getting rid of the negativities. You go into every single solution exists because, like I said, there are infinite resources available within yourself that can solve every single problem of yours. But all you have to do is take that direction and go there. Somebody suffering from superiority complex, for example, he goes in there, and then all of a sudden he's faced a sincere meditation is what it takes. It's a real sincere approach that, okay, I really want to find out who I am, right? That should be the only, a curiosity and a sense of adventure is going to take you through in the right path. Because curiosity means what? Curiosity means I don't know something and I want to know. So that releases you from your knowledge that you already have. All of a sudden your existing knowledge becomes useless. Because whatever I know has not helped me, has not made me happy, or make me suffer, all these things. So there has to be something other than that. So curiosity, what else is there? Not even forget, problems even disappear. So curiosity, and another is the sense of adventure. Adventure means what? You want to go to the places which you've never been there, and you have no idea what it's going to turn out to be. So that courage and the passion to really explore, those are the two most important things that you need to go towards positivity. So once you do that, somebody has superiority complex, all of a sudden he's faced with this infinite consciousness just opens up, and he remains a tiny nothing, basically. When that opens, the whole universe becomes part of you. So whatever is gained from the universe has also lost its value, because all the gains of the sansar stays in the sansar. All the losses of the sansar are not losses at all. So all of a sudden, if you have inferiority complex disappears, superiority complex disappears, your ego disappears, your anger disappears, what's the point in getting angry? Why waste your time when you can have a permanent, total solitude and peace within, a bliss? Why would you want to get angry? For what? All those things become secondary. The whole products of the sansar means negativity, but to be in that state of that perpetual existence where you are continuously happy for no reason you're happy because you have expanded in that state, is a state worth experiencing. But that can be only done by yourself. Enlightenment has never happened. You've never heard, say, 500 Buddhist monk got enlightened. It doesn't happen. The fact that you're accepting that you are a Buddhist, you're defeating the purpose right there. So all the identifications itself is a negativity. So all the people who have become enlightened, they walked away from sansar. Mahavir went into the jungle. Buddha went into the jungle. Christ went away. He defied the traditions. All the traditions you have to defy. You have to realize, meaning that you don't have to actually go and defy in the sansar, because then you're going back into the dream. You don't have to even fight with it. Internally you have to understand that all these things came from outside, has no value. A dreamer dreams, and dream cannot wake you up. Staying within the dream, you cannot wake up. Waking up has to be done by himself. Nobody can do it for you. So that's the source of positivity. That's what we really need to do through meditation. All right? Thank you.